Spirit Callers is a game I've replayed over and over, so instead of doing a regular playthrough, I want to challenge myself with extra rules. I'll be playing as Syrus Truesdale, one of the friends to the main character who starts off laughably weak as he tries to grow as a duelist. I can't give the character any upgrades that break continuity of the game or of the show, and the video ends if I lose a duel that's important to the plot, so we can keep this as canon as possible. With that being said, wish me luck. I will use whatever cards the character had access to and similar themed or power cards to make a full deck. In this story, Syrus meets his best friend Jay a little sooner as they take the exam together. I think this hair is close enough. Yep, this is going to be our deck. Unfortunately, there's only 5 roids in the supercharge trap, so the rest of the deck is based on Syrus's first deck that he uses in this game. I'm playing 1 copy of UFO roid with 3 Shining Angel to float into it, his card Crush Thunder Neon, and the 2 warriors are here for fusion materials. As you can see, our deck is going to be power crept very fast, so I try to sleep away the pain, when Jaden breaks in to force us into a duel. And so the torture begins. Classic Jaden fashion, he starts with Skyscraper, so Sparkman can solo most of my fusions, which is exactly what Avion does to my Steamroid. Mind you, he has generic staples and high attack monsters that you can't compete with yet at this point. Plus 2 more Skyscrapers somewhere in the deck, so I'm cooked. Submarine Roid saves me as none of the heroes are weaker than 800, so he can't get past his defense or stop me from dealing damage. Also, unless he gets something insane, I'm safe for the moment. But speaking of insane, he has both of the DD monsters from the ban list in his very first deck. Then I realize all of these demons are because he doesn't have a fusion deck. Does that make it okay? No! Fuck no! But these are the cards we've been dealt with. I equipped the Machine Conversion Factory onto my Submarine Roid, and since it's a humble LOB card, I figured it was safe to add. Since it boosts my defense too, I'm still safe from Skyscraper taking me out in defense mode. So soon enough, I had enough damage on board to claim my first victory of the challenge. We end up late to Crowler's class that week, so he takes out his insecurities on us. You see, he'll be antagonizing us as we beat him during our entrance exams. And this time, he had us investigate a criminal in the dead of night. You know, instead of calling the police. The Duel Giant has gone around defeating Obelisk Blues and stealing their cards, so this will be our first shadow game, since we can't have our cards be stolen too. Luckily, I can easily bypass his defense with the Drill Roid, so that the other monsters in my deck can wail on him with direct attacks. And soon enough, I managed to draw my 4-card combo. Steam Roid, Drill Roid, and Submarine Roid fuse for the Super Viagroid Jumbo Drill. And now, he can't attack it. But by the time that happens, I already had a strong enough field that it didn't really matter, so I flawlessly come out with my first Shadow Game victory. You duel NPCs to level up or unlock events, and I ran into my next hurdle here. Torimaki uses the Dragon's Roar structure deck to overpower your monsters in your back row until your life points hit 0. So with the 1900 Spear Dragon that does piercing, I lost the only monster that I opened the duel with, putting me in a top deck situation after a single turn. I used Premature Burial because I don't have Monster Reborn, since this game follows the ban list in real life, the year that the game came out, not based off of the ban list the anime was following. In any case, I get 2 Steamroids and I win that duel. Mototani is significantly more of a threat though, as he has a burn stall deck and I only have 1 piece of back row removal. So between all of his cards, he can easily take me out if I'm not aggressive enough. Then there's cards like this that cause me to lose key cards. Drillroid hard carries me though, so he lost his advantage, and UFO-roid Fighter pushes for game. Some blue hair cuck barges in as a messenger for some Obelisk Blues, so I go to see what's up. Lo and behold, I've been challenged by the Chazz, my rival of this game. He wants to see what I'm made of since I've beaten his lackeys, and I'm starting to feel pretty good about my deck right now. I open with my card Crush Thunder Nyan Nyan, and even though most of my monsters would make her self-destruct, I have faith that she can be the offensive wall I need to handle his deck. And as he sets and passes, I'm certain his monsters don't go higher than 18. But Chthonian Blast destroys my Cougar, so that option's quickly torn down. and I'm burned by the aftermath. Even though I could summon, I decide to use Premat to revive my xenophobic baddie, and he runs the same play on me, calling Gilgarth back to the field. But he didn't tribute summon or anything, so I keep battering his dark deck with this horrible common from 2003. He destroyed my angel, forcing out Uforoid, which baited him into Magic Cylinder for huge damage. While he hits all the draw cards in my deck and kills my UFO, it isn't a total loss. Exterminator lets me view Chazz's deck for one. My deck is still 2 cards shorter despite losing advantage, and now that I see how many destruction effects are in his deck, I can be more aware of that too and start to play around some of them. Nudoria finally outs my beat stick, which is a shame, but now I'm free to summon the entire rest of my deck. I've got a 2100 here, so I'm pushing for as much damage as possible, hopefully dodging another Nudoria. Well, thank God it was nothing, so I get to destroy his monster, summon the Submarine Roid, and attack for game. After cucking the Chazz, a new bombshell has entered the villa. So we're picking up the booty call and running to the girls' dorm. We meet the head bitch in charge, Alexis Rhodes. She busts us for trespassing with expulsion on the line, so I'm treating this as a shadow game. With no time to waste, I dive straight into the fusion summon of Uforoid Fighter. Between his 2400 and my Magic Cylinder, I felt extremely comfortable with winning this duel. I thought I'd clear his monster, but she opened the Warrior Lady, which is a massive threat to my board since it can banish any monster. I sacrificed my Noble Steed to remove the threat, and thanks to Steamroid, we're back in the clear. She returns the favor by blowing back all of my set cards, reminding me that she is an obelisk. I get to respond with Woboku to protect my monsters, so she just trades the A forces for my cylinders, which amounts to nothing because she just sets a card. Just when I thought the win was secured, here comes the other DD. Strangely, it looks like the computer prioritized attacking the weakest monsters in attack mode, but I still need to find a way over it, so we'll see how this plays out. After lots of stall, I reincarnate my Sasuke and go for broke. Tsunachi! We hit the coin flip so no one gets banished, but can we hit it again? Tsunachi! Thank God Syrus plays this in the game because it possibly saved our run here as we finally beat Alexis. Can't seem to get any sleep around here as a voice keeps me up at night, forcing me to investigate. I hike through the darkness to the north of the mountain, deep into the woods, where I find my first duel spirits. What a perfect monster to pull for a machine duelist. It's the only one I would have added into the deck and its removal. Hopefully it comes in handy because Crowler wants us to duel Chazz in front of the school, which is fitting since Jaden got his transcendent wings right before this. Let's give it our best. We start the duel with a beautiful hand because we have access to 2 different fusion monsters. I set Submarine Roid so that he's already on the field when it's time to use him for battle. Also spare Submarine Roid from anything like a Smashing Ground. It looks like Chazz is on a light deck now, but his Neo gets revenge killed, and with Shining Angel in my hand, I can grab UFO whenever I need it. Steamroid gets steamrolled, but God blesses me with a Drillroid off of the top. Premature Burial calls back Steamroid, and then I play Polymerization, using the powers of Earth, Water, and Steam for the Super Viacroid Jumbo Drill. My Shining Angel gets hold, so I can't double fusion here, but we're in a powerful position, with a 3k Piercer running him down. Then I see Steamroid right after snatching half of his remaining life. His back row must be his ID, expired debit card, and a stolen EBT, because he puts up 0 fight for an embarrassing loss. In any case, we stumble upon Bastion, who finally wants his turn now that everyone else has dueled me already. What the actual fuck is this? A 2k defender in attack mode on turn 1. It still destroyed my monster, so I guess I can't laugh at him, but either the yellows are cheating or he really is the smartest duelist. I show him what a real offense is by slapping 2 conversion factories on my Steamroid so that he has a respectable 19 even if you swing on him, and he peaks at 29. But I won't need that because thanks to Spirit Callers, I have this neat 1-up to send his monster back to the deck for me. Now my monsters get to landslide his life points. Now unfortunately, Drillroid doesn't stop flip effects, so Penguin Soldier is still going to trigger from beyond the grave, bouncing my Steamroid. Though I lost the Drillroid, Steam being in my hand helped me get over the 7-colored fish, winning me the duel. Blair is an exchange student who has an incredibly gay obsession with my big brother Zane, and I wish Blair was gay, because maybe then he wouldn't dress like a hobo in a Broadway play. We chase him out of Zane's room instead of once again just calling the police, and then I whoop her ass in the woods. 1 for lying about her identity, and 2 for making me look like a bisexual burglar. Which, on that topic, pisses me off that she plays Dark Piercing Light, because she can hide her gender identity, but fuck me for having a face down. So my yellow submarine is double strapped to John Lennon this child, because I'm getting this kid off of this island. Bastion skips 1 day of class to challenge me. While neither of these duels reflect the canon, I think the developers realized how little shine he was given and tried to fix that, so I appreciate it. What the fuck is he doing? What? I don't have a way to destroy a trap in my deck. I only took 2 of the staples that Syrus played in this game because I didn't want the challenge to be too easy for me. So the only thing I can try to do is power bond and hope he doesn't get... Fuck, there it is. The great Bastion Misawa is just playing Princess Burn, and the wrong monster triggered my bomb, which, by the way, Pikaru has always bothered me because she looks like a 12-year-old. And even as a child, in 2005, I was like, Bastion, you're fucking weird. You look way too old to be having a crush on that card. So I'm praying for an equip spell so that I can take my drill over the wall. UFO's here for emotional support, and my future looks really bleak as he's burning me to death. Now I'm even leaving Gyroid in attack to make sure that he can trigger Supercharge, and I finally get the conversion factory. So with no battle traps apparently, I can pierce the... What do you mean fix the formula? You literally— Slifers were home unbothered by unwelcome guests telling ghost stories late at night. Then a rumor of an abandoned dorm got me and Jaden interested, so we went on another midnight hike and found a grown man hiding his identity, making threats on our life. What we don't know at the time is that he was hired by Crowler, but instead of scaring us, he kidnaps Alexis. So here I am in another duel that I have no business being in, but I've got a 1900 Drillroid, and if his deck is mostly Archfiends, that should be enough to take me all the way. I thought so. I thank God for Drillroid because Wall of Illusion would make me throw my DS at the wall, and with Monster Reincarnation, I can recover a fallen friend. That friend being the one and only Ichigeki Hisotsu Samurai. Go! One hit certain kill Samurai! Tsunachi! Man, I really hope that's not racist. One more! But this time, heads is not the way. I call tails! Tsunachi! We hit twice in a row, baby! The 2800 threat is now 6 feet deep, so this duel is ours. Crowler gaslit us and threatened expulsion, even though his assassin for hire was swallowed to death by a curse. Because who needs humanity when you can soothe your ego? But he needs us to be shamed to get even, so we have a tag duel against the Paradox Brothers, and I'm glad to get to build Jaden's deck because I'm not 9. I know how bad this shit is now. But now that I've made some changes, let's see. Doc sets a card and leads with the 2200 Jirai Gumo, so if this isn't Progression Series, I don't know what is. Jaden opens with a Poly Search and Emergency Call, so he gets to fuse right off the bat, making his elemental hero Wild Edge. And there's still Stratos for his normal summon, removing Solemn Wishes from the field to stop any life gain Dox is hoping for. Unfortunately, Jaden gets stalled out by his Swords of Revealing Light, but he has so much sealed presence that even under skill drain, it might not make much of a difference. And speaking of presence, he revives the Blade Edge for 2 gargantuan goons. He loses one to Smashing Ground, but the other is still too much to handle, and if Clayman can beat tier limits, it can beat whatever this is. My turn! When Para started with cost down, I thought a Gate Guardian was coming down, but it's just a vanilla. You fuck ass! Thanks to Drop Off, I have to card destruction because I'm out of monsters now. Nice. And with the magic cylinder set, I'm golden unless he really does get a guardian. Plus, with the rest of my hand, I have options, so it was worth throwing out the poly. Now I can just jab and bide my... Please, 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 please. Ah! Let's go gambling! That's what I thought, but I got so nervous that I passed without setting my Wabaku. I wouldn't be Syrus if I wasn't folding in the tag duel. No normal summon, moment of truth here. This monster has failed off-screen and he's flip-flopped against Titan, but today I'm gonna trust my monster and believe in the heads. Tsunachi! The Tamer is dead. Round 2. The soul of the coin will guide me, and it screams for heads again. Tsunachi! 2 for 2, I have done it. Even the explosion armor cannot save you from the samurai and his yellow submarine. He sunk my battleship. The samurai stands alone in battle now. They yield again. He cowers before my mighty Japanese warrior. And though the storm is heavy, my envoy of reconciliation will ensure our safety tonight. This buys us enough time to call in a drone strike. Strike him down. He bricked again. Sasuke Samurai 4 has carried us to victory. Tsunachi! And now with the Paradox Brothers defeated, Chancellor Shepard has waived our expulsion. Thanks to Jaden fighting alongside me, I walk away from this duel with newfound confidence in my deck and what it's capable of. The goal was to survive until sophomore year when Syrus gets his upgrade, but it's good to know that my first deck is still capable of great things. We finally get our first duel against Chumley, but unfortunately for him, I'm a much stronger duelist now, making it a fairly easy win. But I was impressed by this combo with Beast Soul Swap to give his Berserk Gorilla an extra attack. I wish we could have dueled him earlier, but it was nice to see the three of us share a moment to help his character progress a little. It's business as usual from there, but on a walk to the south one day, this event suddenly appears at the lake. And who else could it have possibly been but the Chazz? The other Blues have started to reject him from their social circles after his losses to me. So he came back to where it all started to put me back down. And while he had a great start, he attacked my spirit monster, Adhesive Explosive! It latches on like a landmine and is my only form of monster removal outside of Drillroid, who met a very unfortunate demise. So with this field spell active, he's kind of overpowering everything I have until I find a fusion. He doesn't even need the Union Machine since a regular vanilla is enough of a threat to tear away at me. So all I can do is stall and shuffle my deck a few times, hoping that that's enough to turn this around. And it's not until turn 7 that I do damage, and I have to leave an Angel in attack mode to protect my submarine. Now that I know that they'll prioritize damage in this game. That wasn't it either, so I'm still hoping while I hang on near half-life. But since I'm counting on submarine so much at the moment, and I can still float into UFO, I choose now to double down on marine missiles while I still can. The UFO combo digs 3 cards deeper, but not only do I not find a fusion spell yet, I don't have one of my battle traps to take some of the pressure off. Then I misunderstood UFO Roid's effect and summoned my second copy of my spirit monster, so he's useless. To add insult to injury, I just added Divine Wrath to my deck, but it's brickier than my top deck since Chazz has only been using vanilla so far. My next move is to risk Steamroid to either destroy a monster or trigger a trap. And thank God that I killed one, because I need those submarines as long as possible. A performance anxiety engine gets destroyed, I take 1,000 and lose a stealth hitter. I have but one choice while I stand in sorrow. I must play the samurai to live till tomorrow. I was going to aid him with a second sub, but Chazz had the MST laying in wait, and I wasn't sure what road led to victory, but I put my faith in heads again. Tsunachi! The Dark Witch is dead, and my equipped spell can fend off the Wide Dragon Head, so my submarine is safe. He dared attack my samurai. Tsunachi! He will face death as he's hit twice in a row. Can we go for 3? The soul of the coin screams heads. Tsunachi! Ichigeki de Chibai Shoeru! With our life all tied up, Chazz flips the Call of the Haunted, reviving his mighty 2300. and though it gets bypassed, I cannot let it sink my submarine. Sasuke! 4 heads in a row would be impossible, so it must be heads. My boss monster has failed, and finally he falls in battle. I have failed him, and it may cost me this duel. He doesn't have a second normal, so I survived the fire on my gyroid, but this might be my final turn. Can't leave a monster in attack anymore, so if I don't act now, Submarine Roid will die. I'm actually shocked that whatever he set didn't have 900, but I'll take it. I couldn't draw a fusion spell, so there's only one card that can save me, and it's in my grave. The second submarine finally leaves the grave, and thanks to all my efforts to keep his ally alive, they combine their strength to steal a game. There's nothing more horrifying than a bomb waking you up in the middle of the night, but my spirit's trying to tell me something, so I head outside to check it out. An Abidos student named Tori has been summoning the spirit of Jinzo, but he wants a human sacrifice to manifest his body, so we finally have a shadow hand. Not a bad opening hand. We have our samurai, our UFO combo, plus a revive spell. And Drillroid is a cheat code for some of the annoying monsters that he has. Unfortunately, his Metal Raiders ass deck is going to be able to swing over us, but we still get our draw with Supercharge. When Goblin Attack Force hits the field, it becomes clear that he really is just playing a good stuff deck made from the first few sets, so I set Angel to give me a few bodies while his own Dark Elf eats at his life for me. He passes to avoid forcing his goblins to defense mode, so that helps. But now he must face the Samurai. I'm not cutting this part, so you know that I'm not cheating by resetting my save. Sasuke Samurai is charging straight into battle and using his effect to take down an army. Flip! Tsunachi! Now Jinzo's about to make the fatal mistake of attacking my Sasuke with his Dark Elves. He's literally paying his own life to kill his monsters for me. I believe in the heads. Tsunachi! We hit 2 in a row, and he never learns. The soul of the coin screams to me. 3 heads is improbable, but so is controlling destiny, so I must make it true. Every fuck. Sasuke Samurai has done more than enough for me, because now I finally get to fuse my Steamroid and Gyroid together for the Steam Gyroid with 2200, and Premature Burial puts a Steamroid on my field along with the one in my hand, so I win again. Now we're at Dimitri, and I'm grateful for this character because his episode is where we learn Syrus plays Magic Cylinder. I have to fill his shoes and defeat Crowler's deck with my Roids now. Since the professor isn't a mandatory battle, this might be our only chance to prove ourselves, and no one likes to pick me, so I'm doing society a favor here. I have a soft open, and he starts with the Ancient Gear Castle and a normal summon. Castle gains counters for every normal summon in set, and those counters can be used as materials for a tribute summon. The biggest problem with Ancient Gears is how they prevent you from triggering battle traps. Syrus got around that by using Jetroid's effect to play trap cards from the hand, but that's one of the 6 Roids that they left out of this game, so I have to find a new way to deal with his army when they hit the field. I was able to negate Turtle and show him what a real UFO can do, so if he does tribute summon, that's a little less board presence I have to deal with. But now, what am I going to do against the mighty Ancient Gear Engineer? Well, even though I have Waboku, his equipped spell Ancient Gear Fist destroys my monster if it doesn't die in battle, which is bad news for my UFO since I won't get the search effect. And now that his UFO is back, he can float into a monster again. Thankfully, he was too stupid to attack that turn, so we're at an even 3 for 3, and because he only sees damage, he failed to use Mech Chaser to destroy Submarine. I throw down a second sub, which wasn't the most optimal decision, but I somehow forgot about the whole attack exploit mode, so I have to live with it. And finally, the earth trembles and splits to reveal the ultimate weapon has awoken again. The Ancient Gear Golem. His mechanized melee reigns on my set. The Fool. It's my spirit monster. Attach now! I may lose the submarine in this battle, but next turn his strongest monster will fall as quick as it rose. Now my deck must answer my call. Perfect. The Machine Conversion Factory will boost my Drillroid to 1900, 50 points higher than his Mech Chaser. And with that thing hitting the grave and my Adhesive Explosives effect, there's not a monster left in his deck who can stand up to me. I was wandering around the island when I saw an event marker in front of the Slifer Red dorm. My Stan was already there to confront whoever was hanging around outside, but he hasn't had the character growth that I've had, so he was a little bit scared. And it was Tyranno Hasselberry. Anime watchers might be confused here because this character isn't supposed to be introduced until the second season, which is actually right before Syrus gets promoted to Yellow. So the timeline here is completely out of whack, and that might be a huge disadvantage for us. When two duelists lock eyes, they have to duel each other. So I'm going to keep having faith in my cards. It didn't add too many dinosaurs either, so he's just playing a deck similar to Bastion's. And he immediately outs my equip spell. I have to crash into Hydrogeddon and pop my never mind. I guess we just have the answer to fucking everything. Luckily he bricked, so I swung for free the entire rest of the duel, but I'm not gonna lie, it feels horrible to win this way. Now that that's done, we find out that Yugi's deck is on display, or it should be, but Crowler says it's been stolen. So once again, he sends us to investigate instead of calling the police. Of course, who would steal it but Dimitri? This weeb is cosplaying as Yugi now because he thinks that'll make him a better duelist. I actually like this episode because it works as great foreshadowing for the finale where Jaden beats Yugi's deck, but can he beat Yugi himself? But we're the main character here, so we have to be the ones to prove ourselves and save the exhibits. Thankfully, we have our trusty Drillroid to tear down his defense, so we're forcing him to have to do better, and he does, responding with the skill Dark Magician. He tributes it for the Dark Magician girl, Syrus' true card crush. And with Magician's Circle, he summons forth a second copy straight from the deck to apply the pressure. While that play was cool and whatnot, I think it was better to keep Skill Dark on the field to force me to be more selective with my spells, but it doesn't matter because I'm fusion summoning the UFO Void Fighter. Not just to run over his monsters, but to prove I don't need my Samurai to beat Dimitri, and my Spirit Monster will take care of the scraps for me. The poor AI triggers my supercharged trap card, giving me 2 extra cards, and the nail in the coffin is the Shield and Sword magic card. Most Roids have equal attack and defense except Submarine Roid, who now gets twice as powerful and still puts itself in defense mode before the effect wears off. In the meantime, this is 3,600 damage, so with Divine Wrath shutting down his recovery, this was a landslide victory. Before I could catch my breath, Hasselberry is back for a rematch, and I have a feeling he's going to be a lot more of a challenge. But my Shining Angel brings out the full potential of my hand, giving me several options to fuse with, and that's how I thought the duel was going to go, until he summoned the ultimate Tyranno. I was in for some punishment now, because even though I have 2 monsters, Tyranno can attack everyone on my field, but I could use that to my advantage. See, Tyranno has to be the first to attack, and has to battle every card once, so not only did this force him to attack my Spirit Monster, let me activate Magic Cylinder, redirecting 3,000 back at Hasselberry's own life points. With his resources tapped, he passed turn but revives his Tyranno in the final seconds thanks to his face-down trap card. My deck won't lose here though. I don't need a fusion to beat this prehistoric punk. I can win with just 1 card. Welcome to the new age, Tyranno! Fire! Another dueling school is coming to our island for an exhibition where 2 representatives battle it out. But since my big brother didn't want to participate, Jaden, Bastion, and I have a round-robin tournament to select a new rep. And thanks to the tag duel, I have a pretty good idea what Jaden has access to. The real question is, how do I deal with their stall, the field spells, or Jaden's fusions? It's time to cut the card crush BS for something more practical. So I'm putting Hammershot back in my deck, which I took out earlier because I thought it was going to be too strong, and I added 2 free spell along with that. We'll see how this works out for us, but the tournament is starting and Bastion is first. I was starting soft with Shining Angel, but Bastion's 2 strongest monsters hit the field. Thankfully the AI's too stupid to use Abyss Soldier's effect, otherwise we'd have already lost. And with UFO, I can summon out Submarine Roid, but the legendary Ocean appears, so I hope he doesn't have any level 5s. Apart from that, Bastion attacks the UFO, but first I see what I can get off Supercharge, and I decide to Waboku early in case I draw the Sub or the Samurai. That worked out nicely. Like the legend I am, of course I drew Submarine Roid for turn, so I have all 3 of my fusions here. But I go for broke using my Submarine Roid, Steam Roid, and Drill Roid for the Super Viacroid Jumbo Drill. That's because I'm going to use my Sasuke Samurai to break through their front line. Of course he has the MST, but it's better than losing a trap card. Now he flips his Waboku, and there's no way he doesn't bounce my fusion next turn, so I have to call the coin to stay in the duel. And now he reveals Widespread Ruin, so I'm gonna lose my investment anyways. But I can't let it die for nothing. Tsunachi! I'm starting to feel like there's a bias for heads, so who am I to ignore it? Sasuke's in attack mode, so Bastion will target it. Can we win 2 more flips? Tsunachi! And again, its soul screams heads. Tsunachi! This duel has been completely flipped on its head, even with the death of my boss monster. Steamroid falls to the trap hole, but we still have a decent amount of damage, and his hand is completely empty. That's another 24, and his field spell pumps up my submarine's points, so he needs a water monster to out it. But with the battle phase AI, he won't be able to destroy it in time, and actually, he summons Star. It dies the samurai, but making this... fuck it, next duel. Bastion was embarrassing, but Jaden's gonna be our biggest hurdle yet, and he goes first. Just like against Dox, Jaden opens King of the Swamp for the Poly Search, and with a full hand, that's dangerous. He throws it down immediately, fusing together a second King of the Swamp with Sparkman. My heart sinks to my stomach as he starts with the Shining Flare Wingman. How the hell do I deal with 2600 self-boosting burn? And the Miracle Fusion right after. He banishes from the graveyard his Elemental Hero Sparkman and his Fusion substitute for a second copy of the Shining Flare Wingman, still with 2 cards left in his hand after this. I have back to square one, and Conversion isn't a bad discard, but I'm not 100% sure if Wingman's effect in the damage step triggers my trap card. That's also assuming Wingman attacks Gyroid second, so I still might not break his board. I throw down Supercharge so I can use one of my draws as discard fodder. But right now, we have nothing but... Oh, no, we don't! We have nothing! There is no hope left for us. I'm left with Gyroid and an empty hand. He popped 2 Supercharges, which could have completely refilled my hand. Worse, though, is now there's only a single card in my deck that saves me, and there's a whole 34 left. Here goes nothing. Yep. That's nothing, alright. I'm not sure if the AI will attack the face down or not, so I can't risk losing a monster for no reason. Thankfully, once again, he doesn't have a normal summon, but that's the only reason I still have a chance, but not for long if I keep drawing like this. Power Bond might be able to do it, but if he summons anything, those hopes are ruined. Okay. One more try. Draw. Fuck. And now Prestigious is on the board, and I wasn't sure if it was right to summon Steamroid, but I'm gonna lose the Gyroid here. Turn 9 and the field tells completely different stories from the light, but I'm sure that I made the right decision as I draw this next card. Graceful Charity is beautiful as I can use one of the Steamroids as discard fodder, and that's gonna do it. I'm indecisive here because Shining Angel gets me UFO, having a second Samurai could be useful, but it feels foolish to rely entirely on luck, even if I'm the main character. Dakara, Yashin shita ima, michi wa dou itotsu shika nai. Shokan! 一撃疎す侍緊張すると結果は出ないバトル私の侍がフレアロウィンマン攻撃いつもモデだ裏になる謎だすなち The plot armor has killed the Flare Wingman, and now we have a chance. Turn 11, neither player has lost a single life point, and a second Burstinatrix hits the field. But since their attack is tied, the AI refuses to battle, so now it's time to take the lead with Drill Roll. I have to dive head first with the Samurai for the 5th time. I won't go back on heads after all this time. It'll be tails. Tsunachi! We have 5 consecutive coin flips this video, and Drillroy runs over his last monster, finally drawing First Blood on turn 12, but also revealing that Jaden's face downs aren't battle traps. Whatever it is, we can breathe again. Or so I thought, because now Future Fusion has appeared. He puts 3 heroes on the grave to fusion summon from the deck, and then triggers Pot of Avarice to get Jaden 2 extra cards for a full hand. My saving grace is he shuffled Sparkman, so... I was wrong. He willed it back with the heart of the cards. It's up to the Samurai now. 3 tails isn't possible, so it must be tails again. Tsunachi! We've hit 6 times in a row, and his field is wide open now. I summon the Shining Angel here since we know a fusion is coming out soon, and he blocks his attacks with the Call of the Haunted, so only one monster can get through this time. The soul of the coin laughs devilishly. It's obviously gonna land on heads. Tsunachi! Barkman returns to the grave, making way for my Drillroid to attack directly. I need to pray that my luck hasn't run out though, because next turn comes the true test to my abilities. With just a set monster, Drillroid can dismantle it, so my other monsters have a clear path to stretch the lead. And even though I didn't want to draw another angel, every point of damage helps here. All my monsters attack directly. With 6,000 points in difference, Future Fusion resolves, calling the power of several elements at once to summon the elemental hero Tempest. And at 2,800, it's stronger than most of my own fusion monsters. Righteous Justice sees through Magic Cylinder, so there's only one road. For the 8th time, the soul of the coin screams heads. Tsunachi! We have defeated the Tempest thanks to the mighty samurai. And with nothing left and Mirror Force being banned, we attack for game. Taking my black ass back home. I like how we had that whole spiel about upgrading my deck, and we didn't draw any of those cards in those duels. Anyways, today's the day for the school duel, and who else but the Chazz is set to be my opponent on the big stage. None of us bothered searching for him after he went missing, something that happens a lot around here, and he enrolled in North Academy after their principal saved his life. Now on live TV, I have to avoid embarrassment while I duel his upgraded deck. The twist is this is a match duel, just like a real tournament, meaning best of 3. He blocks my Submarine Roy with the Wabaku, which honestly is a waste on only 800 points, and destroys the trap card I was depending on. Seems to be a thing that this game is doing a lot now. He wastes Ryoku, and now I'm really confused by the AI randomly making these horrible plays. I may get my supercharge, but Armed Dragon destroys a monster in battle. So in a single turn, Chazz will get his evolved Armed Dragon level 7 now. It's such a shame that he had to attack my Spirit monster. With no normal summon, his field is about to be wide open. And unlike me, he's banking on every card he draws off the top, which wasn't enough this time. I figured he had level 5 in hand, so I forced him to throw it out, I get 2 new cards, and I attack directly. I thought he bricked again, but it was actually Call of the Haunted. Always on my angel. I give him a win here, though, hoping that he would level up so I could Divine Wrath, but when I ended my turn, he didn't do that. So now I know he only has 1 level 7 in deck, and since it can't be summoned by other means, I just have to deal with this last dragon. And that wasn't hard thanks to my Shield and Sword Magic card. So at 19, Steamroid's effect sends him back where he came from. Ultimately, he was completely outpaced, so I take game 1. Sad to say that round 2 is a very different story, with another MST on the trap I really needed. I'm gonna have to depend on Graceful Charity to find a play, but not before he does the same to fix his own hand. More bad AI because he should have played that before the summon, but maybe I was on Magic Hammer, you never really know. In any case, I have to give up the UFO Roid here because now that I know he has Mountain, a 2400 fusion might not be good as summoning Sasuke, and yet another pop on my set card. And it's the turn I set it, so I can't respond. Here's the level 5 with another really weird Ryoku play. I'm not playing Castle Walls, buddy. I have to supercharge this time, so I'm consistently staying ahead in advantage. And I spin back to level 7 with no beater in hand. I save the pre-mat for later and set the bomb, and he does the same here. I fire the Burial because now I have Gyroid in hand, so I use one of my polymerizations, fusing Steamroid, Gyroid, for the Steam Gyroid. While I'm not in a great spot, I feel a bit more confident with this on the field, but like a dirty fucking cheater, he has Marshmallow, which actually won't wall me out for long because he tributes it immediately to summon another level 5, killing Steam Gyroid so he can level up once again. He baited my poor Spirit monster, so long story short, I lost the second round. With the score even, we enter the final round of this match, and now we see that this duel can landslide in either direction, so it might be purely up to fate whether or not we succeed. Luster Dragon's powerful, but I predicted the Stamping Destruction this time, and Chazz hit the bait, popping a Fusion Sage, which left me with Supercharge. Chazz finally summons the Armed Dragon level 3, actually getting a blind kill, which is pretty annoying, but I survived 2 attacks and UFO is out. I'm really trying to make it work for me.
Wabaku keeps the dragon safe, but it was a waste because he had rushed recklessly, so he kills anyways. These moments where they waste perfectly good cards is starting to piss me off because I don't remember the AI being this bad. In these older games, I can still trigger Angel so that I can get a free shuffle even though I don't have any targets in deck, so I'm hoping that that helps me here. Despite the fact that I have my own Wabaku, I've never felt so helpless with 4 cards in my hand. He wants to level up, so he attacks with the armed dragon, but he attacks my spirit monster! I'm in a much better position now because I will lose UFO, his dragon dies on standby, and my Gyroid can keep me alive and stay on the board for the next turn. He tributes the mass dragon to summon another copy of the armed dragon level 5, which makes you wonder why he didn't just tribute the dragon with a bomb strapped to his face, but I suppose we can all cope in strange ways. I send the second armed dragon back to the deck. Premat is going to recover a monster for me, except that 2 gets met with an MST. I just can't have Jack in this damn game. My spirit monster does its thing, but I'm surviving on 1 monster, and Chazz decides to tribute again. At least Gyroid is safe, and it continues to be as we both break. I'm secretly at my advantage though, because he's played every card in his hand where I've only played 1, and Speak of the Devil, Graceful Charity activates there, followed by Call of the Haunted, so now he has everything he needs to destroy Gyroid. Instead though, he attacks my spirit monster! I added a second copy of this to my deck for consistency. I just happened to draw it now. Strange that he didn't use that set monster with Armed Dragon to destroy my whatever. I was saving cards to draw off of card destruction, and Steam Gyroid gets to hit the field now. Now equipped with the Machine Conversion Factory, I put both dragons back into the graveyard. Chazz tributes for yet another rare card, the Luster Dragon 2, and once again, I have no idea why the AI is sacrificing Marshmallow. If he left it on the field, there was almost no way that I could have gotten past it in time, so I'm in disbelief. So, I want to prove my Sasuke would have killed it. I call heads. So anyways, I kill his big dragon, I draw the Drillroid, and you know how it goes from there. Steam Gyroid finishes him off, and I've officially won the school duel against North Academy. But finally, after all this time, 41 minutes into the video, the plot officially begins. All of the main cast and crew has been summoned into Chancellor Shepard's office, and he reveals the plot of the 3 Sacred Beast cards. People called the 7 Shadow Riders are going to be attacking the island soon in pursuit of these 3 cards, which are the akin to the legendary Egyptian god cards, and they want to use their power for nefarious purposes. So all 7 of us have been blessed with one of the Spirit Gate keys that we must defend with our life, and we have to defeat the 7 Shadow Riders in order to ensure that the great evil does not resurrect. In the middle of the night, my spirit monster starts to act up, and so does Jaden's wing Karibo, leading us towards each other, and before you know it, we have been kidnapped. We get taken to the north part of the island towards the volcano, where we run into Nightshroud, who's challenging us to a shadow game. First of the 7 Shadow Riders, I start off with my Submarine Roid here versus his, it looks like another version of a Dragon's Roar deck, just a little more focused on the Red Eyes. And of course, every time, the MSTs, the 1-trap card I was really depending on. I have to pop it now, so I can't save it for later. Wabaku will keep my Submarine Roid alive. Thank goodness, because he equipped Malevolent Nuzzler onto his Behemoth, so now it's at a behemothly large 2200 attack points. Submarine Roid won't last like this. So I swing it to the face down. Thankfully, it was the Red Eyes Black Chick, so I can prevent him from special summoning a Red Eyes to his field. Gyroid is going to have to stay in attack mode in order to draw attention away from the Submarine Roid. He does fall into my Magic Cylinder, but now that's my only 2 battle traps already gone, and it's only turn 7. He's going to swing into the Gyroid with the Behemoth, of course, and I do get the Supercharge here, so now I have a full hand of 5 to work with, and as you can see right there, I do have 2 of my fusion materials at the ready. Shield and Sword will bump up my Submarine Roid without weakening my Steam Gyroid, so that my fusion can go ahead and finally run over the Behemoth, and Submarine can punch for the full 1800. Now surprisingly, he's actually going to pay 500 life points here in order to put Malevolent Nuzzler back on top, leaving him just at 800 so a Submarine can kill him. That's because he has Call of the Haunted to stop the Gyroid, so now he has Twin Behemoth back on the board with 15. back up to 22 on his turn, re-equipping it, and Swords of Revealing Light will actually disable my face-down spirit monster, so I can't rely on my adhesive explosive here. To get rid of the behemoth, I throw down the hammer shot, and he pays another 500 life points to put it back on top of the deck. So now while I'm biding my time, he summons a mass dragon, equips that, destroys the submarine roid. I back to square one the mass dragon, finally getting rid of the equip spell. He bricks. I attack directly for game. And this is where we learn that Nightshroud is actually Alexis's brother Atticus, but because the game came out before the show was finished, we don't ever really get to resolve this plot line. Chumley on another night discovers a castle in the middle of the lake, calling all of us here to attention, and we find Camula, the second Shadow Rider, who duels Zane and takes his soul. So now not only am I fighting for my survival, the next night I'm fighting to revive my big brother. She uses overpowering eyes with the dragon zombie to hit directly for 1600. I equip the machine conversion onto the steamroid so that I skyrocket up to 2600 during my turn, and after she breaks, I get to punch directly. But that's not going to last for long because her face down monster is the Spirit Reaper. So now I'm trying to figure out what I'm going to do to get over this, and I don't have to think about that much longer because she tributes it for the Patrician of Darkness, destroying one of my Shining Angels, or so she thought. I flip over the Magic Cylinder trap card, redirecting it and dropping her below half life. I drew all 3 Shining Angels, by the way, and I thought I was going to run over the Patrician, but she flips over Shrink in the battle step, so now my Steamroid has been run over. Main phase 2, I use Hammer Shot to get rid of her Vampire, Premature Burial on the next turn to bring back the Steamroid because she's still playing defense, and that's because it turns out she had a face-down Pyramid Turtle, so she's still in the game. Pyramid Turtle will cheat out the Rio Koki with 2400, so my Angels are useless here, and Steamroid gets sent right back to the scrap yard. Now, how do I deal with this card? I'm starting to run low on life points as well. The only thing that I can do is draw back to square one, which I believe I already used if I'm not mistaken, or set up a fusion summon with Zane's power bond that he entrusted me with as a child. Now, unfortunately, for the third time actually, my adhesive explosive does not go as according to plan, but my Angel fetches Ryuforoid, who gets Gyroid, so I can show her the difference between playing a card and using a card. Power bond my Gyroid and my Steamroid one more time. I fusion summon the Steam Gyroid with 4,800 attack points to its name, running over the Ryu Koki because we've been seeing that her face down can't be a battle trap. It would have triggered by now. She's down to 1,600. I did leave my Shining Angels in defense mode because I wasn't sure 100% in this moment if Mirror Force was legal, but Shining Angels get to carry her off into the afterlife once and for all, and I have revived my big brother Zane. Bastion on the east side of the island discovers a coliseum with the muscle mommy Tania of the Amazonas tribe, and she's looking for a husband via combat, so she kidnaps him all night. We have to come back the next day to see if he survived. Now, while I was attempting to wander around and just kill some time, I accidentally walked into the spa and completely forgot that the Kaiba Man spirit is now live. So I have to battle the 4-star character who has Seto Kaiba's deck, and he's taking the first turn of the duel. And while I was absolutely trembling at the thought of having to duel Kaiba Man, unfortunately he couldn't get over my submarine roid, so it was over incredibly quickly, never making that mistake again. We come back over to the Coliseum the next day though, and Bastion has lost the duel, so I am up against Tania now. I set up with the good old supercharge combo with Gyroid to survive the Dark Elf. We're seeing this for like the 3rd time now. This is getting really old. I get that she's a female character, high attack points, ooga booga. I throw down the shield and sword so that we can get rid of her with Gyroid, and Sasuke gets to attack directly for once. The Gemini Elf is actually going to swing into the Gyroid, and I've saved the Graceful Charity because I wanted to make sure that I drew a bunch of cards before I activated it so that I had as many different cards that I could throw to the graveyard as possible without losing too many good ones. So now I get to fusion summon the Sasuke, which has been a long time since I've done that. She actually swings into me. Now her field is completely open, so we have an easy victory. I'm stunned at how this duel went down, but after Kaiba Man and now this, I'm going to take what I can get. On another day now, we're in the Chancellor's office and we're discussing that Detective Magor has appeared, and I don't know if this is a reference to Detective Conan and the character named Magor, or if this is some sort of Japanese trope that I'm just not aware of. Either way though, here we are with Don Zaloog, and we end up having to take advice from him on where to store the spirit keys so that we don't get robbed. But when we go to bed that night, one of the characters, Jaden that is, busts into the room, letting everybody know that the key was stolen, and Chazz says that now that he has the ability to communicate with dual spirits, has planted several different dual spirit cards with everybody's keys, so they told him that it was in fact Don Zaloog of the Dark Scorpions who stole the card, and this is going to be our 4th Shadow Rider. I'm up against him. He sets up a really impressive field actually for this era of the duel. Marauding Captain with an extra summon, and he has the A forces, so the more bodies he gets on field, the stronger he's gonna get. Dust Tornado immediately during my end phase, getting rid of my face down card. I'm so sick of this happening to me. I really needed that advantage, especially going up against a field like this. I do have the setup either to use Sasuke's effect or to go into the UFO Roid Fighter. He runs through all of my Shining Angels, so that I have the UFO on field, and I decided to Polymerization. So, UFO Roid Fighter, 2,400 attack points is going to get rid of some of the bodies for me. I'm forced to attack the Marauding Captain while he's on the field. I cannot target any other face-up warriors instead of him, so that's going to be attack number 1. The life points are even keel for the moment, but it's only the 5th turn of the duel. With this monsters in defense mode, Drill Roid can sneak in alongside the UFO Roid to dismantle his forces. He cannot put up too much of a fight, and eventually UFO Roid takes the win. Don Zaloog and the rest of the Dark Scorpion, who supposedly have been here for years, fade into the afterlife. I don't remember that happening in the show. It's probably just because it's been so many years for me. Let me know in the comments if you remember that storyline. I head over to the lighthouse and I walk in on Zane and Alexis having a conversation amongst themselves when suddenly the 5th Shadow Rider, Abidos III, has arrived. He was a former pharaoh of Egypt, and once again Alexis is kidnapped, and while I'm going to go into battle, Zane says he's confident in me, and how could I not feel emotional over that? He starts off with the gold sarcophagus, tee-hee-ha-ha, banishing the Treeborn Frog so that he can potentially set up advantage for some tribute summons later down in the duel. I open my classic Shining Angel and I swing straight into his face down. He has no background, and of course, it's another goddamn Marshmallow. Thankfully, I can calm down because we already know he's going to use it for a tribute summon on the next turn. Pass back over to Abidos, turn 1 on the gold sarcophagus, and just like I said, he tributes the Marshmallow for the Vampire Lord. And yeah, there's not a lot of vampires in the game at this point, especially not playable ones, so half of Abidos' deck is literally just the same cards that Camula was using. Very, very disappointing to have to deal with. I go straight into the UFO Roid though, and that's because I have Power Bond in hand, so I fuse together once more Gyroid and Steam Roid. This is for you, big bro. 4,800 attack points on my 4,400 on my Steam Gyroid, running over the Vampire Lord, giving my other Gyroid and my UFO Roid access to his life points. He doesn't put up a fight. Treeborn Frog is all he has. Another easy game against the Shadow Riders, and boy, I hope I keep up the streak. And now, on the very next night, Alexis gets kidnapped again. What the fuck, Shonen? Shonen anime really sucks at writing these female characters, I swear to God. Maybe it's just a Yu-Gi-Oh issue. Go ahead and correct me if I'm wrong. Anyways, Titan has dragged her back to the abandoned dorm, just like last time, you know, killers and their obsession with going back to the scene of the crime, yada yada. So, I engage in him in a real shadow game this time with pain and death and all that, and unfortunately I don't have like a strong opening. All I can do is set this monster. I don't have a face down, like a trap card that I could set in order to go along with that, and he has big beaters this time. 1900 attack Slate Warrior running through my Shining Angel, and that's going to be difficult for me because even if I do a fusion summon to get over him, my monster who destroys him in battle will be permanently reduced by 500 points, so I'm in a pickle. Do I use the back to square one now? Do I try to defeat it in battle? Do I wait a little bit and see what other cards I can draw? I ultimately decide to pass because I can just keep floating through my Shining Angels bodies, and then he summons another Slate Warrior, so now I have no idea what to do. One 1900 beater is already a lot of pressure from my deck to try to handle. He runs through both of my Shining Angels, so now I'm stuck on UFO Roid and Supercharge. Not a bad combo. I am going up in card advantage significantly. I draw a Polymerization, so, you know, if I can Supercharge to draw Steam Roid and UFO Roid can go ahead and search Submarine out of my deck, then that's a vehicle Jumbo Drill, and then I'm going somewhere with this. He summons Gilgarth, 1800. That's still so much. Please get a good draw of Supercharge. I get Power Bond this time and Machine Conversion Factory, so that's not going to do great for me because, not counting Steam Roid, you know, the best I can do is tie with a Slate Warrior. So I summon the Submarine Roid just because I don't want to draw it, unfortunately. And plus, I have the Premature Burial. If you didn't already know, UFO Roid can only summon Roid monsters with 15 or less attack points. So I'm down to either Submarine or Gyroid in this instance. It's really, really unfortunate. And he attacks directly, so I'm down to only 4,500. I don't have a way to special summon other than pre-mat. I do draw my Spirit Monster, which is nice, but it's here just too late. So I set down 2 cards. I decide to activate Card Destruction, and he Zings and Whoos, so he has locked me out of Premature Burial and my Power Bond spell, and I threw away my own Polymerization with the Card Destruction. And yes, I got rid of some amazing staples out of his hand, granted, but I don't have a way to capitalize off of any of this. I don't have pre-mat now, so I can't bring back the UFO Roid. I already normal summoned because I was expecting to fuse using the Gyroid. I am completely cooked here. So all he has to do is, and then he tribute summons, styling on me with the Skull Archfiend of Lightning, his boss monster. Slate Warrior has no problem getting rid of the Drill Roid that was face down. He has another Slate Warrior for 19 and then the Skull Archfiend for 25, leaving me at exactly 100, except I don't get a chance to come back. He had the Ring of Destruction set face down for me. Titan has beat me in a shadow duel, fair and squared. I was outplayed every single corner, and I, Syrus Truesdale, have lost the Spirit Callers Challenge. I failed everybody, they stole my Spirit Key, and I have died. So that's how this challenge went for me. It was a lot of fun, even though it did take a while. I was able to slowly play this game a couple of minutes every day as I was waiting for my back to recover. Now, I will say, I wasn't really sure how this should have ended because, like I mentioned before, Syrus upgrades his deck immediately after Tyranno Hasselberry gets introduced, but in this game, Hasselberry was introduced earlier. So there are cards that I had as a quote-unquote side deck that I didn't get to add to the deck. If you think that I should try this again with the upgraded deck, let me know. If you think, no, I think you did everything fair and square and by the book, so this is just where you die, that's perfectly fine. Either way, I hope I see you in the next video. Have a great rest of your day, people.